All right, we're going to try this again. Unfortunately, my mic was having an issue and I didn't realize that I wasn't being heard, but it's only a couple of minutes out of the day, not a problem. Going to do this again. Texas Rangers advancing to their third World Series in franchise history. First since 2011, have yet to win it all. They defeated the Astros 11-4 last evening. Adolis Garcia named ALCS MVP, going 10 for 28 over the 7-game series. He hits 5 home runs and has an MLB record for most postseason RBIs before an actual World Series game. To put it bluntly, I'm viewing this Texas Rangers team as a team of destiny at this juncture. It's truly incredible what they have been able to achieve. They're awaiting the winner of the Phillies and Diamondbacks, which is going down tonight. They did not win the division. That was the Houston Astros. But by winning this, they basically prevent any kind of dynasty chatter surrounding this Astros team. The last team to repeat was the 2000 New York Yankees, as well as the previous year, the 99 Yankees. That was a three-peat. I think what Houston has accomplished is actually quite special, but I would not put them in the dynasty breath because of the fact that their World Series are spaced out and they have not gone back-to-back. As the Rangers go, the Bruce Bochy effect is in full effect, and it shows what he has accomplished, what he has done. And should the Texas Rangers win the World Series against whoever wins the National League, he will join only Joe Torre as a manager who would win 4 World Series in my lifetime. Truly incredible. Congrats to the Rangers. Well deserved. Game 7 takes shape in Citizens Bank Ballpark. We've got the Philadelphia Phillies hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks, the very surprised Diamondbacks, who I don't think too many had extending this thing to 7, considering how damn good Philly has been at home all year. Truly remarkable that this series is still going on. And I guess Philly is feeling the heat a little and feeling nervousness that, it is a 1-game playoff now. Having said all that, I think the Philly offense explodes tonight because of the sheer fact that they have not been able to get it going back to their last game. I think Bryce Harper shows his greatness, and I think the Philly pitching keeps Arizona's offense at bay. I like the Phillies for the win. I'm going 7-2, and they will be playing the Texas Rangers in the Fall Classic. Big chunk of what today's show is about, though, is the NBA. Questions and storylines galore. The NBA is back. I comprise some questions that I think are pertinent to what we're going to be speaking on, and I'm going to fly on it. Will Chris Paul's addition for the Golden State Warriors get them back to the promised land? I'm going to respectfully say no. I don't believe that it's enough to get them where they're going when you consider how talented the Western Conference is. I will say this, though. I do like the fact that it gives them a lot more confidence in that backcourt in fourth quarters. If the minutes are managed right, there should be no reason why in meaningful games, Steph and Chris are not in the backcourt together. In that regard, I think it makes them a better team. But we've seen it the last few years. Chris Paul and Father Time have been linked. He's getting older. We saw him break down in Phoenix. I still think Golden State is one of the better teams in the league, but I don't think they're good enough to go to the finals. Can the Denver Nuggets take the next steps to set up a potential dynasty? I'm going to say yes, for one simple reason. Similar to Hakeem Olajuwon in the absence of Michael Jordan being the best player in the league for a couple of seasons, I feel that right now Nikola Jokic is that, undeniably the best player. And being a big man and bringing it back to the big men running the league at that level, I think it's refreshing for an NBA that I once knew. When I think about the supporting cast, when I think about the selflessness of this roster, they're a very unselfish team. Yes, indeed, I think the Denver Nuggets could go back-to-back, thus putting them in position to be a potential dynasty. How will the 76ers deal with the immediate troubling presence of James Harden, and how can they keep league MVP Joel Embiid? With Embiid, I think it comes down to a confidence if can he win a championship in this city. And I think his confidence with regard to that is starting to flounder. As James Harden goes, he's not even with the team. He's burned many a bridge in his NBA career. And I actually believe that this could be the beginning of the end for this roster, and I think a blow up is on the way. They have been linked stories to the New York Knicks that Joel Embiid does indeed want to be a Knick. It's an interdivision trade, which is not completely egregious. It has happened as recently as a couple of years ago. So I do believe that there's a potential that Embiid can be a Knick. In the event that he is, I think it would require a Julius Randle, an RJ Barrett, possibly a Mitch Robinson. If not Robinson, maybe a Hartenstein. I'd prefer keeping Robinson if I had any say in it. And maybe a sharpshooter like an Evan Fournier, who's kind of been displaced to the Knicks bench going back to last year. And it goes without saying, multiple first rounders. Is Embiid worth all that? I don't know. Is any player worth all that? The Knicks need another scorer and another superstar to put alongside Jalen Brunson. If this is a real thing, if I'm the Knicks, I pull the trigger, I make the deal. Philly's gonna not have a terrible season, but I think similar to what happened to Brooklyn when they blew things up midseason, I think they're gonna probably make the playoffs and be a quick out. Do the New York Knicks have enough perimeter shooting to make a deeper run in the East? Will there be a trade to shake up the roster? I just kind of hit on a potential trade. To answer the question about enough perimeter shooting, time will tell. But I do like the addition of the Big Ragu. I alluded to it on yesterday's show, combining the trio of youngsters from Villanova in their college days, bringing them to the Mecca. I think it's only going to be helpful. Tom Thibodeau, I was very critical of his coaching style during last year's playoffs, but I do believe that the New York Knicks, from a roster standpoint, do have a good chance to hang around in the Eastern Conference and potentially make a run. Will the new Spurs rookie be the next great big man? Now, I said it yesterday. If you're making a basketball baby, that's David Robinson, that's Tim Duncan all in one. This kid Wembanyama is going to be phenomenal. Having said that, I think the Spurs are in for a long season. Draft lotto to come, but he will give the fans much to look forward to. King and Co. look to expand on their Western Conference Finals appearance last year. Can they win it all with this roster? My answer is going to be a maybe. Hachimura, Reeves, some of the young guns on this team are going to continue to improve, but I still think it ultimately squarely falls on the shoulders of the two guys, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and can they stay healthy? It's not the old school NBA where guys are playing 80 to 82 games anymore. That just doesn't happen as frequently. But I do believe that if the Lakers are going to make any kind of legitimate run, then that's what needs to happen. So keep an eye on that, and we'll see how it plays. And I also think there is a potential that this could be the final season for LeBron James. Stay tuned. Playing for a legacy, why KD has to lead the Suns deeper into the playoffs this year and solidify his legend. The way I look at Kevin Durant, nobody's going to deny nor dispute that he is one of the finest scorers in any and all eras of NBA basketball. But when I consider that he had to go to a loaded team in Golden State in order to reach the pinnacle after failing to beat them with his own loaded team in OKC, and seeing how he has not been able to win without Steph Curry, he has not been able to win anywhere else, I do think it's a legacy thing. Because no matter how much the media or Michael Jordan fans or people in general like to hate on LeBron, one thing that cannot be denied is that LeBron has, set jump, so to speak, but he's won everywhere he's been. Can't say the same thing for KD. And sometimes I do think it comes down to a leadership thing. We'll find out. Can Kyrie and Luka get it done in their second act? I'm going to say yes. I was a little surprised that they did recommit to Kyrie, but I believe that it's going to be all about ball this year for Kyrie. And I think that Luka is primed for a bounce back year after last year looking at times a little lazy, a little disinterested. I think the two of them are going to motivate each other. And while I don't necessarily know if they have enough to make a deep playoff run, I think that they're going to captivate a lot of NBA fans this year, and they're going to put on some great games together. I think that this pairing is actually going to work. How close are the Orlando Magic? Not close in terms of winning a championship, but I do believe that this year they get a taste of the playoffs with this very young and dynamic athletic roster. I've had the privilege of seeing Orlando play quite a few games, and I think they're headed in the right direction. Based on Orlando's history, the key is they've got to be able to hold on to young talent, and I hope that they're able to once some of these guys come up for the bigger paydays, because that has been an issue with Orlando. They cultivate talent and then they make it their way somewhere else for the bigger notice. So hopefully for Orlando's sake, they can keep this together. But yes, I do have them as a play-in team that could potentially knock somebody out. Keeping it in Florida, can head coach Eric Spoelstra and team president Pat Riley navigate the Miami Heat to another Eastern Conference championship? What help does Jimmy Butler need? I'm going to say yes, even though they don't have the roster they want just yet. Pat Riley was unable to sign the big-name free agent in the offseason. But Coach Eric Spoelstra really showed his worth last year, getting the most out of a lot of guys that probably wouldn't be in rotations around the league. I think he maximized the potential of guys that are role players. In the end, unfortunately, Jimmy Butler literally ran out of gas. The Tyler Hero injury, missing most of the playoffs, didn't help. And I do believe that Tyler Hero will be a name that could get moved at the deadline for this Heat team to complete the roster and give Jimmy Butler the second superstar. Bam Adebayo, in terms of we're talking a big three, definitely took some leaps and bounds last year, certifying himself as one of the better big men in this league. He had a career year, especially a career playoffs. With Dame and Giannis, are the Bucks going to be unstoppable? I'm going to say yes. I actually believe that Dame, sometimes people don't understand just how great this guy is. He dropped 70 last year. He needed to get out of Portland to continue his career. At some juncture, every person in the league wants to have a chance to win a championship. That was never going to happen for him in Portland. And with the Giannis injury last year in the playoffs, and with just having a tough year in general, I think he's going to reassert himself as the best player in the NBA this year. He is definitely the most versatile. I think it's going to be a hell of a season for the Bucks. They are my pick for the Eastern Conference. Speaking of the Eastern Conference below, I'm going to give you, the viewers, a chance to check out how my standings look. And I've got a multitude of 50-win teams, more so than in previous years when you look at NBA standings. I think the reason and the explanation for a lot of the 50-win teams is that some of the bottom feeders around the NBA are actually going to be contributing to this. Like, they're going to be really bad, and then you're going to have a top-heavy kind of situation, similar to what we see in other sports as recently as last few years in the NFL. But my Eastern Conference pick for the finals is going to be Milwaukee, and it's going to be Boston. I hope the Knicks prove me wrong and end up being one of those two teams. Out west, this is what I got it looking like. And as you can see, not afraid to give a lot of these teams these sexy records with the 50-plus wins. Like I said, I think the bottom feeders are going to be a different kind of bad. And that's what motivates me for these standings. Not too many surprises here. I got 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are going to be in your Western Conference Finals. And, you know, it's 10 teams. For years and years, we're used to the 18 playoff format, but now you have play-in games. Miami was a beneficiary of a play-in that they actually won all the way to the finals, which was pretty remarkable, becoming only the second team in league history to do that as an 8 seed. But here in the West, I've got the Denver Nuggets winning the conference again and having a chance to repeat. They're going to take on Phoenix in the Western Finals, and I think it's going to be an epic series. Had to kind of motor through and speed through because I accidentally recorded this once today and did not have any sound unbeknownst to me. So happy that I at least caught it early and I was able to still get this show out. NBA is back. Got a really cool slate of games. And I'm going to let you, the viewers, check out what I got as results here. My predictions for tonight's game. Home teams are in caps. And I'm not homering. I got my Knicks losing a close one at the Garden. Of course, I want to be wrong, but just being honest. And just to let you, the viewers, know, we will be back Wednesday evening to wrap up and give you our takes for Week 8 NFL slate, picks and predictions show, announcements to come on that. If you haven't already, please make it a point to like and subscribe to the channel the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. And due to my sound issue and not paying attention the first time I dropped this show, gonna cut this one just a little short because I've got to get out of the house. But I appreciate you guys hanging with us. The NBA is back, and we have a Game 7 in Major League Baseball, which is going to be worth keeping an eye on. Have a great day, everyone, and I will see you guys tomorrow with our NFL. Peace.